Welcome to this episode of the Comedy Defect Podcast. My name is Winter, I'm a comedian, and this is my show. So welcome to the show, guys. This is episode 81 with a very funny comic, Scottish comedian Leo Kearse. He's a favourite on the UK and international circuit. He's been at the Fringe many times. He's working really hard. He's a very funny guy. I'm not going to do his full bio because we're going to hear it all in the show anyway. You can follow this podcast. We're on Facebook. We have a page. You can go like that. We have a Facebook group, The Comedy Defect Facebook group. Go there, join the group, and share your favourite episode, tell your friends. And if you really liked it, you can go to Patreon, type in The Comedy Defect Podcast, and donate as much as you feel this podcast is worth. But if you can't donate, that's okay, we'll still do it. You know, don't panic, it's all right. This is the last episode of 2020. I'm so glad it's nearly over. We're in tier 4 right now. We're just clawing our way to 2021. We've got the light at the end of the tunnel there. We are nearly there. So this is the 2020 Christmas special. If it's special, you can decide that. If you like it, share it, tell your friends. You can follow me on Twitter. Remember, I deleted my account and started a new one, so I've got hardly any followers on there. This sounds a bit desperate, but if you want to follow me on Twitter, I mean, it'll inspire me to maybe start writing some more jokes on there. If you just do it. Why not? You can follow me there. I'm on Twitter at Joker_season. You can follow me on Instagram, which I'm a little bit more busy on, which is at Winter Dominus. That's Winter DOMINUS at Winter Dominus on Instagram and at Joker_season on Twitter. I've also got a Facebook page. You can go and like that too if you want. Now, this is, like I say, Leo Kearse. I don't want to do a long intro. I think the short intros are much better. I'll let the podcast speak for itself. All I'll say is, I hope you had a good Christmas. I hope you're looking forward to the new year. And I'll just say, this is a great episode, episode 81 with Leo Kearse. I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you're looking forward to 2021 with a bit more positivity. Enjoy. Leo Kearse, thank you for having me in your mansion.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, the convent. Yeah, the ex-convent. And no, it's been great, man. Thanks for having me here. Welcome to the Comedy Defect, or your house, or your mansion.
Yeah.
So how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, I just got back from a tour of Southeast Asia. Then I had a show last night. I had to do a 45-minute clean set at a holiday park for old people. And like when I say old people, I mean they're like sort of 80 to 90. And yeah, it was a brutal 45-minute death. I did 40 minutes, which was pretty good. I just I wanted to get paid. They hate me so much they're walking out, and they're walking out, and like while they're walking out, like somebody dropped their crutches. I was like, man, that's when you know you die, when people who can't walk are walking out. You know what I mean? It would be far more convenient for them to just sit there and put their hands over their ears, but they're like, no, this comedian's cured me. I'm walking out on my broken legs.
These 45-minute clean sets, I've talked to you about them before, right? So like you say, you've got to be a stone cold killer, right?
These gigs, man, like sometimes you got to do them for money, because I really love having money, but really you're just doing it for the money. And it's not like, if you die at Top Secret, if you die at the Comedy Store, then you feel it and you feel horrible. Mm-hmm. Like you feel nothing can cleanse you. You just feel terrible, and it really eats you up. Mm. If you die at these things, it's really like it doesn't affect your ego at all.
Great,
so it's fine. I mean, it does a little bit, but not really. And if you smash it, because sometimes you do it and you smash it, and then you just feel like the most amazing comedian in the world, because like you just smashed this impossible gig. Because they're always set up really badly. I mean, last night was set up with a huge big dance floor in front of the stage, because they were dancing before and after me. They had a band and they were dancing, and then I'm the only comedian. And the people who do them, like the ex-manager was saying, she said, well, this is before I went on, so I'm looking forward to seeing your stuff, because normally we just get people who come and they get different comedians who come, but they all do the same jokes. They just do these old jokes, and that's how it works. It's like the cruise ships. So you've got these it's a totally different circuit from the circuit that we're on. It's people, because I mean, comedy, as we know it, club comedy, you'd be cast out if you did other people's material, and also like comedy's supposed to be personal, authentic, and it's not really just about shitty little sort of setups and punchlines anymore. It's more sort of story based and personal. But yes, there's still a circuit of like after dinner speakers and cruise ship comedians and holiday park comedians who just go around doing their shitty jokes. That were from. I mean, I remember I was doing like an after dinner thing, and the other guy that was on, he went on before me, like, which was the wrong way round. but he just did all the best stuff from all the comedians in the 70s, like Freddie Starr, you know, all these. And I'm alright at comedy, good at comedy. I'm not as good as like the best stuff from all the comedians in the 70s. You know what I mean? That's some pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah. How can you compete with that? You can't. You literally can't. Look, he's done the best of everybody in the last few years, you know? And so you come and go, well, guys, this is the stuff that is pretty good, but I'm working at it.
It's like somebody fucking your girlfriend with like the 12 best porn stars cocks. Yeah. You know what I mean? How are you gonna, you're not going to be able to compete with that.
Like, even if you die at this gig, I guess you won't have many, you know, return customers for your other shows or whatever.
Yeah, there's not much of an
80
overlap.
to 90, right?
There's not much of a Venn diagram between like the people who follow me on Instagram and maybe come to my shows and people at holiday parks. Or I mean, like so old, it was just insane. Like so, trying to do crowd work was difficult because they're really sort of. They can't really talk and they're sort of scared because it's like you know, guys shout at them and stuff. And,
it's really imposing, dude. And, like the younger guy, hey, what do you do? What do you? I don't remember.
I'm retired. So married people make some noise. Widowed people make some noise. No, they sound happier.
How's that other half of the pension going? Come on. I'm enjoying it. Would you do the cruise ships as well?
Yeah. I had a trial for cruise ships last year. I didn't get it. I did well on the night, but they said they could tell I was a Comedy Store act trying to be a cruise ship comedian, which, you know, to be honest, I'd rather be that than the other way around. You know, like,
fair enough.
It's mad. Like me and Jeff, because I do Sensatori resorts over in like Ibiza and Turkey and stuff. And me and Jeff Innocent were over doing one, and they're really fun gigs. There's a cruise ship comedian on the plane, and he recognised Jeff, and we were talking to him, and he was going over there to do, you know, some sort of flyback or something. So they joined the cruise, and then like, you know, spend a week on it doing shows every night. But he was all like, oh, I want to get on your guys' circuit. And you know, Jeff's like, well, you know, you're gonna have to write your own jokes. And the guy's just like, what, all of them? You know, there's no, like, couldn't comprehend that that's what we do. And I've no idea why he wanted to be on our circuit, because even like a good night on the club circuit, you're gonna, so, you know, you'll get 200 quid, or you'll do a double, you get like 400, 500 quid. Man, the cruise ship comedians are getting thousands. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's it. And then holidays as well. You're going around places, getting off in all these places, and the buffet for a start. Jeez, it's incredible.
Although the thing is, if you die in them, then you got to like you're stuck in a boat with all these people. You know what I mean? There's nowhere to hide. You can't. Like last night, I ran out the back and just didn't stop running until I got to my car.
Well, the grass is always greener, isn't it? It's like the money is a thing. It's like, but you want the bragging rights of that kind of thing. It's like, well, I'm on that circuit. I've done, because the Comedy Store is the number one club that everyone's at. Comedy Store, isn't it?
I'd say the Comedy Store, Top Secret, Hot Water. They're like the sort of gold standard. The Comedy Store especially. It's like, you know, it opens doors. Yeah. But it's one of those ones like I really enjoy. I feel relaxed doing Top Secret because like I get booked there quite a lot. And I just feel like if I die, it doesn't matter. They'll still book me. They trust me and stuff. And like, you know, I can try out new stuff. And, you know, it's got that sort of feel. Whereas at the Comedy Store, I feel like much more pressure on myself, like from myself to perform. I feel like I'm being watched with a clipboard. And, you know, if I mess up, you know, then it's like, no weekends ever again, you know.
It's always
Which, I mean, I don't know, maybe that's true. Maybe that is, you know. But I always feel a lot more nervous going on at the store than anywhere else. And it's such a brilliantly like constructed club. I mean, Top Secret is as well. Like, I love what they've got now with the downstairs. They've got the wall at the back that makes it like this. It's just changed the atmosphere, and it's so good.
And they're on top of you as well, aren't they? Like they're really close to you as well. You can really feel the energy of the crowd. You know, just moving that way or that. When did you start, Leo?
About 9 or 10 years ago.
All right, cool. So do you know where was your first gig?
Yeah, it was in Kentish Town. It was Ryan McDonald ran a gong show at a place. I can't remember what the venue was called, but Sanderson Jones was emceeing it. So I knew Ryan. He was a friend through my flatmate Oisin, and Oisin was always going on at me to do stand-up comedy, and then Oisin was like, well, if I do it, like, you'll have to do it. And then Oisin did it like 3 times. He was like, you've got to do it now. So I was like, to Ryan, I was like, yeah, okay, like, I'll do it. And then like I was instantly hooked. It was brilliant fun. I lasted like 4 minutes in the gong show, my first go.
Nice.
So yeah, I was pleased with that. And then my second gig was down in Putney. I think a guy called Neil D'Souza ran it, and it was Rich Wilson was emceeing it. And I did 7 minutes, and I'm not joking. I smashed, and I thought that was it. This is it. I'm
One comedy.
I'm fully formed, brilliant at comedy. But no, it just turns out like it was a very hot, nice crowd, and very fucking. Oh. And then I died on my arse at a procession of terrible shit open mic gigs for years after that. What was that one? The T-Bird comedy bin or something?
It's downstairs on the Friday night in Finsbury, Blackstock Road.
So they had a bunch of open mics all over London, and they're all pretty and really difficult to do. So, but that's the open mics. You once you sort of get off the open mic circuit, it's weird how much easier the gigs get unless you're doing a holiday park for 90-year-olds.
Those bars at those holiday parks are all inclusive, isn't it? You've paid for the whole lot, so they have been drinking all day. Yeah. So it's like doing a fringe crowd, but although these guys have had like 10 pints.
Well, the Sensatories especially, it's all inclusive, and you're on at like 11 p.m. So people are merry. I had a guy, first one I had a guy in Cyprus get up on stage and try and wrestle the microphone off me, so he could sing a song or tell a joke or whatever. So
it's my go.
I had to obviously I was trying to be as good as possible to so I got booked again. So I had to sort of wrestle with them.
Just put him in a chokehold, just put him out. Whole family just round of applause. You go high five, well done.
But it's sometimes they got a really great atmosphere, especially the one in Cyprus. It's great. I did one a couple of months back, about a month and a half ago in Turkey, and that was fun as well.
Did you remember your first joke you ever wrote?
I did a joke about the Diana Memorial, and I also did a joke about Susan Boyle, and the gist of it was that she's, people in England think she's ugly, but in Scotland she's a bit of a babe. And I'm not joking. I was still cracking out that joke till about a year ago.
Oh, great!
But a few comedians have got a version of that joke,
Oh yeah. Getting to comedy, was there anything that you ever kind of thought, oh geez, I don't know if I can do that? Did you have a performance background or anything in the college? Or?
No, not at all. I mean, I did a lot of, public speaking because I was a criminal intelligence manager. So I was delivering briefings to rooms of, police commanders, politicians and stuff. So, pretty sort of full on high pressure stuff. And having to get all my materials together and being able to answer questions right off the bat. So I mean, that was quite sort of high pressure performing.
That's some real good training for it then. That's it, presentation skills and writing skills, and keep it concise as well. Yeah.
And there's something about stand up is you can see when people start doing it, they've still got the sort of open mic rhythm. It feels scripted, it feels forced instead. I think the more you do it, the more it becomes just like your normal voice, and you're just telling a friend in the pub a story. And also it's a lot more like music than it is anything else. It's got that sort of, I think the best comedians like Bill Burr, Chris Rock, they've got that, it's almost like the Pixies, they've got that grunge rhythm, like the quiet loud thing. So it sort of builds momentum, and then it slams.
How many shows have you done?
Like actual gigs?
Yeah, no, no. I mean, do you still count?
No.
I mean, I still count, so I'm OCD like that. I don't know why. I don't know why.
How many have you done?
I have done 956 gigs.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so I was like, it should be better. But it's I don't know why. Do you know what it is? I think I'm saving my self-esteem for the 1,000th gig. I'm like, no, fucking I'm brilliant now. That's what it is. I go, yeah, fuck it. So I have the tattoo and everything, like an Iron Man tattoo, or the Olympics, just a microphone. That's what I'm going to get. That's it. But, an awesome tattoo like that. But no, it's I don't know what. Just for me, I used to write a review for each of my gigs,
right?
And then after 900, I went, fuck this. Yeah, this is bullshit. I'm not doing this anymore. I don't need to do that. I know what I did wrong and that or did right.
Right. Yeah.
And then you just kind of absorb it and go, and then you just remember for the next time.
Yeah.
How many actual shows, full shows, have you done?
Blimey, so there's 2 Pun Man shows.
Yeah, this Pun Man. I love this. Right. So Pun Man. Right. I love Pun Man. It reminded me sort of Banana Man, and some and something to do with that, right? Yeah. So what was the idea for this? Yeah, go on.
So basically me and Darren Walsh, basically I fell in with a bad lot when I started doing comedy. I fell in with Darren Walsh, and he then we just started doing puns. We're friends and we're doing puns all the time, and nobody told me that puns are awful and nobody wants to hear them. So I was me and Darren were having so much fun. And then we did a show together called A Tale of the Pun. which was, and my stand-up was always a mix of like puns and stories and non sequiturs. It was just like, it was bullshit, it just jumped around all over the place. But me and Darren did a show together called A Tale of the Pun, which is like improvised puns, basically having a pun battle. Man, it was the most fun show. So people in the audience would shout stuff out, and then we'd have a pun battle, and like then at the end the audience would decide who won.
Great.
And it was great, and we dressed up like pun lords. Like I was, he was Genghis Pun, and I was A Tale of the Pun.
Great. I saw the poster for that around Edinburgh. It was with the Viking horns.
Yeah.
Well. That was brilliant.
Yeah, it was really fun and made us money and stuff. But then Darren wanted to focus on his, like, he was doing some 45-minute work in progress show and like didn't want to do A Tale of the Pun and stuff. So then we stopped doing that. So then I did Pun Man. So that was basically A Tale of the Pun, but just with me doing it.
Great.
And dressed in spandex. And like, I'm not joking, man. It was so much. Like, it was a really fun show to do, but obviously not going to get, it's never going to get like in the Guardian or anything, you know what I mean? And also it was really exhausting to do. The one thing that I love now is like my show is like, go for an hour or whatever, like I can do 2 of them back to back. It's like no stress. Doing improvised puns, people shout stuff out, you've got to do puns, you've either got to like remember puns or like, or come up with puns based on what they shout out. Absolutely, it's so draining, and to do that every day and then do other shows as well, it was terrible. So I love doing improvised stuff. I did stuff with the Noise Next Door this year, and obviously I run Hating Live with Darius, which is all
great.
Improvised.
I remember doing that years ago, like it was when we were in Espionage.
Oh yeah.
It was so much fun, man. I mean, but like
that was the first ever year.
Yeah, that's like, is it 5 years ago now, something like that?
More than that. That must be like
I mean, I was no way near ready for that, but it was so much fun to do. And you guys were down there, and that's closed now, isn't it? Espionage is finished, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a real shame, man. They had some really nice rooms in there, and I noticed Cowgate was quieter this year. I don't know if it's because Espionage was gone, or if like Edinburgh, numbers are just down in Edinburgh overall. Yeah. Like I really hope Espionage comes back to Laughing Horse, and I really hope Laughing Horse takes us back. Yeah. We did Hating Live in a paid venue this year. I did my solo show in a paid venue. And
what venue were you with?
So for Hating Live, we're in Just the Tonic, the Big Cave, which is great at the weekends, but then it's just tough getting people in during the week. Whereas like previously, we're in Maggie's Chamber, we're just always full, always full, and like with a good audience. Even on Saturday nights and stuff, when it's like the courtyard's full of drunk people, we were getting like a dedicated audience who were there for the show, and like they behaved and they were fun. And they gave us loads of money. It was great.
Great.
But yeah, so Big Cave, it looked better, which is good because we filmed one to like, because we've had a bit of TV interest in that. So it was good from that point of view, and hopefully that's going to pay off. But financially, we didn't, and obviously you got to pay a lot more for something like the Big Cave. And then I was in the Gilded Balloon, the Gothic room from a solo show,
which was the Transgressive, is it?
Transgressive, yeah. So I only did it because Phil McIntyre, the promoter, they sort of paid for it and sorted it all out.
Oh, lovely.
So that was good, but then they take money off, and they were we're talking about doing a tour afterwards, and I'm not sure if that's going to happen. I should get some money. We sold quite a lot of tickets, so hopefully I'll get some money from that. I don't know how it works. But yeah, I wasn't that impressed with the Gilded Balloon. Yeah, the room, I did the Noise Next Door thing in like one of the Pleasance rooms. It was immaculate. It was like some sort of TV set from the future. It was just brilliant. But the Gilded Balloon, the room was it just felt like a Free Fringe room.
Is that one? Is that when you go upstairs and then downstairs and around the
underneath? It's amazing there. So
you're downstairs, but you're also upstairs. Is that the one?
Yeah, I was down in the basement in the nightclub room. Yeah, so it's quite it sounded like quite a big room. It's like 150 seaters, but then like they've got the balcony. There's 20 seats upstairs or whatever. Right. So it's not actually that big, downstairs. But it's not like got the best acoustics and stuff. It wasn't like perfect for my show, which I think would have been better in Espionage maybe, but I mean it's still fun. The good thing is like people are paying like £13 to come and see you. When I was doing my right wing shows, like I'd get people coming in just to disrupt the show. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm fine with them doing that if they paid to get in. Yeah. But they're just going to they're just going to trash
wreck the flow and then ruin it for everybody else, right? That's it.
Yeah.
But so because I came to your show, I Can Make You Tory. In was that 2000?
So that would have been 2017.
2017.
Last year I did Right Wing
and so I saw that, it was great. I really enjoyed that show. The Right Wing Comedian, was that much of the material from I Can Make You Tory in Right Wing Comedian or?
There's a little bit of overlap. Like I always like sort of tend to bring over the best stuff.
No, that's fair, because a lot of people say they, I'm not saying you've done this fully, but they change the name of the show every year, but it's the same material. Some people do that. Yeah.
No way.
Just got
like big acts are like
maybe middle
right,
tier.
right.
But so that's what I heard. They're just gonna keep honing it up until it's ready or whatever. Do 45, and then boom, 50 with the big show.
Yeah, and I think until you've sort of made it and you've had a big sort of breakthrough show, like not like some people are coming back to see your show, but a lot of people are just seeing it again for the first time. So it's good to have that. Good to have that sort of, and my agent Phil McIntyre, they're like, just make it a bit of greatest hits. There's a lot of new stuff in Transgressive, and the new stuff I think is better than the old stuff.
It keeps evolving, right?
Yeah.
And so this Transgressive, were they like people that had come to see your other shows in the last few years, or?
Yeah. There's some people come back every year to see my shows.
Great.
And then there's new people because I'm in a new venue, and then there's always people who come and they're like, when are you bringing back Pun Man?
Have you recorded Pun Man, the show?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Because that'd be great to discuss. If people like that, they go, there's fucking a bit of merch, isn't it? And they go, have that. It's Pun Man. There you go. That's it. I'm not doing it again, but there it is.
Yeah. Remember, Stuart Lee had bacon face.
Oh yeah. That's right.
Pun Man's my bacon face.
That's your shadow side. That's it, the old puns. And Transgressive, did you get any reviews for that? Was it not any nice
reviews?
I
got quite a lot of reviews. I was sort of annoyed. I had a couple of 4-star reviews, and then I was annoyed with a lot of the reviews. They'd be like, this is the funniest show you'll see at the Fringe. The audience is in teary hysterics throughout. He's like a young Billy Connolly. They'd be like, but he's got some bad opinions. He's got some opinions I don't agree with, so 3 stars. You know what I mean? It's like, man, it's a fucking comedy show, not an opinion show, you fucking wanker. And also, like, a lot of the people, so I was like talking about transgender issues and stuff, which I've got, like, I'm talking from a personal experience because I used to be a woman. No, like talking from, I dated a transgender woman and she wrote some of the show with me and some of the material that got me in trouble and got me banned last year.
Banned from where?
From my venue at the Perth Fringe in Australia.
Wow.
So that's what Transgressive was about. It's about censorship, getting banned, and dating a transgender woman and stuff. Yeah. I'm talking about this stuff from, it's an informed perspective, and it's also my lived experience, if I can be woke about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so these reviewers are coming in with no, informed knowledge of transgender issues or something, saying that my what I'm saying is wrong, which is like, I was really offended by that, because obviously it's a lot easier for a woman to transition to being a man than it is for a man to transition to being a woman, because like men are you get small effeminate men, you tend not to get 6'6" masculine women, so men stand out if they transition, whereas women who transition to being men just pass, they're not noticed. So I had a bit of material about that, and like one of the reviewers said, this is offensive what you're saying, this is it's not, this is just a fucking fact.
And it's your life as well. How come you can't talk about your life? That's my fucking experience. You're banning your sort of basic human right as a person, isn't it, to say your piece, isn't it? Freedom of speech.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was doing a preview over in Dublin, and it's funny how woke people are so intolerant, just can't have stuff spoken about. And there was a woman in the front who she just hated me, you know what I mean? Because obviously my persona on stage is quite, a little bit, chauvinistic, arrogant, but it's tongue in cheek. Yeah. And she was like, so I'm talking about this bit. I've got this bit about being sexually assaulted by a doctor, and it's a legit thing that happened to me. And like I got run over, I was in hospital and all this sort of stuff. And the guy went to jail. It's a real thing, not for assaulting me, for assaulting somebody else. It's a real thing. And I started talking about it, and she's like, oh, just don't, just like that, don't. I'm like, excuse me. And she's like, don't tell this story. And I'm like, how can you like tell me not to talk about my own personal life? Imagine if I was a man in the front row of a comedy gig telling a woman that she couldn't talk about something like this. You know what I mean? That's the entitlement there. It's insane. And also, like, it's a funny story. I'm very lucky that my sexual assault was a very funny one. So, I was like, I'll tell, I'm like, this is a funny story. I'm telling this story. And she's like, it's not funny. And I'm like, I haven't told it yet. And then I told the story and everybody laughs. And I'm like, see, it was funny. And she's like, it wasn't funny.
That's great.
That's what I love about
throwing a tantrum.
Yeah,
right?
well, that's what I love about comedy. Like, it's involuntary. You can't stop yourself laughing if something's really funny. You know what I mean? It was funny because, like, so she was sitting with her mates, and she was like making them, trying to stop them laughing, like just glaring at them, and like it was making a really weird atmosphere in the room. But then finally, man, like I cracked our mates, and then they just couldn't stop fucking laughing, because that bit about fat activists, the bit where I talk about, you know, writing a review with the chubby little fingers. Right. She was on her phone with her chubby little fingers at that time. So our friends sitting around the table just lost their shit, and she was fucking furious. It was brilliant.
You can say anything with comedy as long as you've got a good heart about it, right? Yeah. And you can see if you're just being a real person and having empathy for both sides and going, look, man, I'm just poking fun at the ridiculousness of the whole situation. Yeah. Sure, that's what comedy is anyway, isn't it? Like,
and if it follows your own sort of personal logic, it doesn't have to, like, you know, stand up in a court of law or anything. I mean, look at Chris Rock's stuff, like his seminal bit like about black people being more racist than white people. You know what he's saying is, like, you know, if you isolate what he's saying, it's terrible, absolutely, like, unconscionable, but it's following his own personal logic, and it works. And also, like, it reveals a sort of deeper truth about society and progresses society. He's saying, like, look, black people, stop treating us as like, you know, one amorphous, you know, homogenous group. We're not. There's strata, there's different, you know, layers, and you know, within, you know, black society, there's different levels and stuff. So it's, you know, it's very, I think it's a very progressive bit, especially for the time. But man, there's no way he'd like be able to get away with doing that these days.
Even in this country, it's like, you know, it's like, okay, they could say the white male thing, right? And you're like, okay, right, that's fine. You're one homunculus group as well, still, isn't it? Like, and they go, then it's like you're divided from, okay, white male to, okay, where are you from in this country? Okay, you Scottish, or are you Welsh, are you English? And then it's like, are you north, south, or west? And it's just so many divisions. It's like, you know, no one is ever united, really, isn't it? Everyone's all in separate factions. That's what it's already been broken up. We've already, like, and then constantly people through social media now are just being divided further and further and further.
Yeah.
So no one can join together in anything. Oh, we're that. We've got a voice. We've got a voice. Okay.
That's the real sort of criminal thing about identity politics, is it just stratifies and silos people, and you know, it stops that, you know, because there's far more like similarities between people than there are differences. So focusing on all these like infinitesimal, like atomized differences between people and breaking them down to such a granular level, and then, you know, it's like, it's way overthinking it, man. Like, you know, people talk about, you know, all this discrimination, and, you know, how there's structural discrimination against women or ethnic minorities or stuff. It's like, man, it's bollocks. Like, it's bollocks. There's like, all right, there's some, but, like, you know, there's always going to be something. There's always going to be something. And, like, man, like, my mum, like, she went to college, she, like, ran business. Like, my dad like left school at 14, like, as a gunsmith and stuff. It's like, there's people, you have to treat everybody as individuals. I know it's like it's against the law to say it these days, but yeah, like, I agree with Martin Luther King. Like, people should be judged on the content of their character, not the colour of their skin or whatever demographics they've got. Like, there's you know, I think if you're a white working class person, you can have things a lot worse than somebody who's an ethnic minority or a woman. All these shows in Edinburgh talking about privilege, like Sophie Duker. So she's young, she's from a wealthy background, she's attractive, she went to private school, she went to Oxbridge, one of them, I don't know which one, but, like, you know, she's had the absolute, you couldn't get a better start in life, you know what I mean? And for her to be up there talking about privilege, other people's privilege, it's like, come on.
I'm always complaining to my wife about this stuff, right? I'm not going to go, look, what the fuck, this person's talking about being working class, right? Yeah. And then it's like, you know, when you're in a situation like that, you go, right, you either have two choices. You either get off your fucking arse and fucking go and do something and try to better yourself somehow, and you earn money and go, fuck it, finally, now I can do the fucking thing that I want to do. Yeah. Or you kind of, like, either just become the victim and go, all right, that's it, I've fallen over, that I can't get up, this is what life has dealt me, I can't do that. You either fight or die, basically, isn't it? And so the thing is, now, I'm just saying, you see a lot of people go up to Edinburgh these days and they're going, oh, you know, it's hard being, you're in fucking Edinburgh. Do you know how much that costs? That costs $5,000 for just a shitty little room somewhere. $5,000, and your accommodation, you're lucky if you got included in that $5,000, you know? And you are eating whatever the fuck you can, go to Lidl every day. I don't have a problem with Lidl, I think it's fucking brilliant. They're so myopic in their view of the whole fucking their whole life in that situation of like, oh yeah, I'm really struggling. Who else isn't working class here? These people are coming on holiday to fucking Edinburgh, the most expensive festival in the world. And you're right. Round of applause. Do you know what I mean? Though that's the kind of thing.
I don't like when people get all these good reviews. So like, oh, this play has got an important message about how racism is bad. It's like, who's paying 20 quid on a fucking ticket to go and see a play in Edinburgh that's racist and is going in watching the play and being, oh wait a minute, I'm not going to be racist now because this play. No, nobody was fucking racist before they went in. You know what I mean?
That's it.
You're just preaching to the choir.
Yeah. It's just, oh, you're a victim, we're a victim too. God, isn't it great being a victim? Yeah. No, fucking get off your ass and stop just this. But
this victim thing, man, like it gives people such power and all this stuff, like all these professional victims. It gives them power over people. They can destroy careers. They can get their own career, boost their profile. Like Jussie Smollett, that actor in America. So he's a black actor. He's on a show called Empire, and he wanted to boost his profile, make sure he's not dropped from the show. So he staged his own racist, homophobic attack against himself. Like paid these two Nigerian brothers, like real brothers, not using 70s vernacular, and they got him to sort of beat him up or whatever, and then he said he got sprayed with bleach, and it was Trump supporters wearing MAGA hats, and they had a noose and all this kind of stuff. Really like dangerous, like racially divisive, horrible thing to say. But yeah, he wanted to be a victim because there's so much power in it these days.
Big time. People put stuff on Facebook and to reinforce that image that they have on there. Like, and I really do hate social media. I use it enough because as much as I have to for comedy, because you got it. But it's just like that. But I see a lot of people going, oh, this has been like 3 years, whatever, since I had a drink or this blah blah. Why are you fucking telling us this? This is your life. It's making a difference to me if you haven't had a drink. As long as you're not an asshole to me, I prefer you're fucking grand. Like, So it's
also I've been drinking consistently for decades. And I just deal with it. I'm not a baby. I can deal with fucking getting drunk. Fucking knob.
And when I feel bad about drinking too much, I'll just stop and I won't tell anyone about it. Oh, God, that's weird, isn't it? I haven't told anyone about my drink problem for fucking years. Isn't that great? Just keep it yourself, ball it in until it's a problem, and then it's an intervention.
Now, I'm from a long line of alcoholics, and apparently what happens with every generation is they'll be fine, and then something will happen, and then you're an alcoholic, and then you drink yourself to death. Well, I think it's just something terrible, like from a dad, like his business failed, and then that was it.
Gunsmith business, wasn't it?
No, so he had to go back to being a gunsmith. So he ran a sort of knitwear business with my mum, and then they moved to Scotland, and then he opened a restaurant.
It all unravelled.
In Dumfries.
Sorry.
What's that?
Sorry, it all unravelled. It all unravelled.
Hey,
come on. Oh, God. We're getting him in there. Bring back Podman. Come on, Podman. You're in there somewhere. So went to Dumfries, you said, and they started a...
my dad opened a restaurant.
A restaurant, right.
So, which is very hard to sort of make money with, especially if you don't know what you're doing. So
is this the pizza served with chips? I'm just doing your material back to you.
No, this is the thing, man. If he'd opened some sort of chip shop, we'd probably be having this conversation on a yacht.
Oh yeah.
But he opened a sort of French bistro. In 1982 in Dumfries. So man, fuck knows what he was thinking.
Wow.
Kensington maybe, but not Dumfries.
He was ahead of his time, man. That's it. That's it. So, and what's your mum do?
She had a sort of knitwear business.
Oh yeah, right.
So she started up after they split up. She started up another knitwear business.
Right.
Doing like quite high end, nice sort of Scottish Shetland wool stuff. All sort of hand finished by local people and stuff like that. So it's really nice stuff, and quite successful.
Did your brother involved in any of the businesses or anything like that?
My brother's a chef.
Oh yeah.
In a really nice restaurant in Glasgow called Five March.
Right.
And I've eaten there. It's really good. It's really good. It's maybe a bit more expensive than I'd normally go for.
Yeah.
I'm more of a sort of Weatherspoons guy.
2 for 1, right? All the way.
Oh man, Steak Tuesday. All right.
So you were talking about Hate in Life earlier. Is there a home for Hate in Life now?
Is there a what?
Is there a home for it? Like, do you have like a regular noise?
We do it fairly regularly at Top Secret. We're supposed to be doing it on Saturday at Top Secret, but Camden Council wouldn't grant a late licence, which is really annoying, man. Like, I think it sort of chokes off. Like, this is what really annoys me about government. I'm not a fan. This is why I'm right wing. I'm not a fan of government intervention in anything. But the government takes my taxes, takes your taxes, spends them on ballet, all these like follies for the rich that nobody wants to go and see. If they want to go and see them, make them self-fucking sustaining. I don't want to pay for somebody's opera, you know what I mean? And then comedy, we don't get any subsidies from the government. So we've got to like, you know, and comedy's a far more legitimate art form. And so it's self-sustaining, and then like the government won't even give us a fucking license to put on our show. It's just disgusting, man. Like, I think government should be small and should just like look after the roads and the police and picking up the bins and then just fuck off out of every other part of life. We don't need subsidised arts, or if we do, comedy's got to be subsidised as well. Rob Mulholland did a great show about it. It was really funny. They did a show. He tried to get Arts Council funding for his show, but it had to be a play. So his play was called something like a play that popular comedian Rob Mulholland puts on so that he can get Arts Council funding.
Nice. That's cool. Like as you're saying, like the price of fucking tickets, man. Like to go to theatre or something, if you want to go, like even the shitty seat with like behind the fucking pillar, you know, you are fucking gonna be charged like £100. Like that's a basic now. Like it's ridiculous.
And it'll be shit because it's a play.
And no one's going.
Oh man, you got to go. Like, I've seen a girl at the moment, and like she likes going to plays, so now I've got to go to plays because, you know, I want to see her.
So like, what was the play you went to see recently?
Well, I haven't actually been to see one with her yet, but I went to see with an ex-girlfriend. Went to see is it The Woman in Black or something?
Oh yeah. I've seen the film.
Right.
Yeah. It's like a ghost story sort of
thing. Yeah. It was all like sort of misty moors and stuff. Yeah, it was dog shit. Yeah. It was
the
worse.
Film wasn't great either.
It was worse than, like, I'd say even the best play is worse than like just an alright film. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Films are just inherently better because you got more stuff. You got like computer generated robots and shit like that. You got gunfights and car chases and dinosaurs and stuff. So just inherently, obviously better.
Comedy wise, right? Who was your major influence? I mean, I get, of course, Billy Connolly. I'm sure was it?
Yeah, Billy Connolly. I mean, like growing up, I didn't think I was ever going to be a stand-up comedian, so I was just enjoying it as a punter. But I love Jerry Sadowitz. My mum used to bring us to see Jerry Sadowitz every year, like when we were like 14 and stuff. My brother just dying, laughing. We couldn't believe it. Like, it was just so so out there. I think that's I can't believe all these people trying to like make comedy so sanitized now. It's like we've got to have that sort of that safety event in society where you go and see a man, like, you know. The stuff that comes out of Jerry Sadowitz's mouth, it would get you arrested in any other situation, but for some reason it works and it's really funny. It's just absolute genius. Man, it's like watching, imagine watching somebody who can, like, I don't know, like just do some insane trick or play the 3 pianos at once or something like that. It's like watching that. It's like, it really takes you to like a place you don't go. And it's such a direct and authentic form of art, like just somebody talking. And just insane. Like
there's a speed to him, man. It's fucking non-stop, an anger and a rage. He's in his 60s now. He's fucking must be.
I think he's late 50s.
Jeez, man. He's like the energy on the guy.
Very, very healthy. Very healthy late 50s.
When you're 14, that was what you went to see. And what did you want to do when you were like, okay, I love comedy, but what was it the thing you were like, I want to do like a job?
I didn't really know. And then I had to go to university because all my friends were going to university, so I went and did film and media because it looked easy. And it was easy, but it was too easy, and it was just like, it was a waste of time. Totally. It was just stupid. And it wasn't like I should have done like a more vocational course.
Did you do it in Dumfries or where did you do?
No, I did it at University of Stirling.
Oh, right.
And then when I finished that, so I was seeing a Canadian lassie, so I went over to Vancouver because they make loads of films there. But then I ended up working for a .com company. I got into tech and computers and programming and stuff and analytics. And then I came back and I wanted to do something good for society, so I worked for the police and the government doing all kinds of analytics and intelligence and stuff. And that was, that's what I thought I was going to do forever. But then I just started doing comedy for fun. And then, never thought it was ever going to be anything other than something I did for fun. Yeah. Then eventually just sort of gradually took over.
Because I saw you first in you were closing in the Blue Posts when you're doing when you always had that like little catchphrase. This back then, years ago, when you're like, party time, and it was in the Blue Posts, and there was a few clubs that had their shows there during the week.
Right.
So that was where I first saw you.
Right.
In comedy, everyone works at it, like, but what do you see yourself as like you work like for a model of something. They go, well, I'm like this, you know, I'm like a sort of like a trade or something like that. You know, what do you see yourself as? Like,
I think it's like being a musician. Okay. Like just the lifestyle, and also like when you're on stage, it's much more of a sort of music than anything else. It's the rhythm and the momentum. That's like way more important than you could, like, it just brings everything you're saying to life. And you know, you watch comedians and there's a real like I was saying with it's almost like grunge or like the Pixies or something, quiet loud. You've got you watch Bill Burr or something, they build to a momentum, and there's a real music to it. I think it's way more like music than a play or some kind of like monologue.
Yeah, like jazz.
Yeah, maybe not. I mean, jazz would be like surrealist comedy. Doesn't make any sense, but done by some fucking posh twat who's then sneers at John. Goes, oh man, I hate these pricks. You know, oh yeah, jonglers comedians. Oh, they're rubbish. You know, somebody called me a journeyman comedian the other day. I was like, well, fuck you.
Okay, right. A question for you, right? How is that a bad thing? Like, how is journeyman a bad thing?
Because that's somebody who's like, you know, just
never made it,
replaceable, never gonna make it, just going around plodding out the same hack stuff.
All right,
it's bullshit, man. That's real fucking bullshit. I do all kinds of gigs. I do like, you know, I've had a pilot greenlit for the BBC Scotland and stuff. People assume that because you do clubs that they can't. Man, there's far more artistry and invention in club comedy than there is at other areas of comedy. Man, like, you go and watch somebody like, you know, Marcus Birdman. Man, that is just watching a master craftsman, a master artist at work. Yeah, it's so good, so funny, and there's so much variety and excellence in the club circuit. I think it's a real golden era for comedy as a punter.
Yeah, and it's great that there's so many people doing fringe shows now. Like just pure fringe shows about like whatever pain they have inside. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? It's like,
loads of them are shit, man.
Yeah, well, this is great, isn't it? Which is a wonderful time for a club comedy to go, oh, this is actually what it's like. You know what I mean? You know, like this is what it should be. This should be a joke here. There should be not much more jokes here, and you should fucking practice that to the fucking nth degree.
Yeah, and it's so weird though. Like, you know, the comedians that are blowing up now, like Mo Gilligan, Paul Smith. Like they're club comedians. They're really good, punchy, live, brilliant comedians who can construct, can riff, can construct amazing like routines and stuff. You know, the industry sort of seems to be ignoring that side of things, and I think that's why there hasn't been a big star come out of the UK in like 10 years. I think the last one was probably Ramesh. Yeah, and you know, he's fairly clubby, but all these ones that they're trying to push, man, they're just dog shit. I don't know why they're like getting all these like shit comedians and pushing them. People want to see stuff like Kevin Bridges, Mickey Flanagan, Sarah Millican, like good, punchy, personal club comedy
jokes. Like, I mean, really just jokes
that you can laugh at.
Yeah, like rather than oh, that's nice. That's a nice story that you've therapized in this room with us tonight. Like, and I see a lot of these people who are doing these fringe shows, and everyone like is trying to basically take that format and go, oh, and who can fucking top Nanette? You know, I mean, like, you know, as in like you telling something that's really painful at the end of a show. Yeah. I mean, who can top that? And that is the pinnacle of that.
I'll tell you, something painful that happened to me. I watched Nanette. I can't believe, man, everybody's talking about Nanette. Darius did a funny thing. He posted on Facebook being all like, how come everybody that says that Nanette's good is shit at comedy? How come it's just shit comedians who like Nanette? And then everybody posted underneath being like, oh my god, it's actually really good. And they're all shit comedians.
But it's like, but that's the thing. It's like the first maybe 20 minutes were a club set. And and then the end was just like,
people say, well, the bit that was, I mean, I had some like interesting, good premises in it, like the bit about you know, what do the sort of how do the Shy Gays, you know, if you don't want to do the Mardi Gras, how do Shy Gays sort of demonstrate they celebrate or whatever. I thought that was a really interesting premise. But you know, people were like, oh, the first half is like just absolutely superlative club set. It's like, no, it's not. She's doing jokes like. Oh, people say laughter's the best medicine. I think it's penicillin. That's like an old joke. It's a shit joke. It's like, come on, that was in a Christmas cracker.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? That joke predates antibiotics.
But again, you were talking about before, preaching to the converted, right? They came to see her, they knew her, and that's it. So it's not a hard gig, is it? But
Yeah.
like, you know, that's the thing. It's like, but it's like, I mean, you see a lot of these things now. That meaning that doesn't have to have meaning. I talked about Jamone before, but I think that Jamone, he doesn't really have he says even at the start of his shows in Edinburgh, he goes, there's no meaning to the show, but if you want, I've just got jokes. It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
and he does
yeah.
everything to, like, a comedian. He's been on doing it so long that everything you watch in his shows does it to the fucking nth degree. So much time, so much skill, so much practice,
and it's so subtle as well.
Yeah.
It's so understated.
Absolutely.
I mean, my favorite comedians are guys like, you know, Bill Burr, Chris Rock, who really come out and like bludgeon you with a mallet. But yeah, Jim Owen, he's a really nice guy. Like, I had a drink with him in Australia. He's a brilliant guy. But yeah, like such a master craftsman with this, like, you know, he's just quietly had this bit. I went to see him a couple of years back. He had this brilliant bit about so his wife like reads a book lying in bed next to him, and so he like moved the bookmark just to mess with him. And then like he's lying in bed, and she's like, what is going on? He's like lying there like trying not to laugh because he's shaking. It's great. Because he's shaking. She's like, are you laughing? He's like, no, I'm having a wank.
That's great. That's great, man. That is so good.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's just, that is the silliness, I think, that needs to be brought back. I think that's why the club comedy's having such a resurgence again.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, finally, we paid fucking 10 quid to laugh. We haven't paid to see somebody talk about their problems. What the fuck? We've all got problems. Like, I'm here to forget.
And the quality of club comedy is really good. You go to Top Secret, whatever. Like, you know, you're going to see different acts most nights. And the quality is going to be really, really high.
You see, like, guys, like, I saw Sean Walsh come in there the other day as well. It was fucking great. And, like, and Ola the comedian, oh man, just fucking solid, like, stuff, even just doing new material, you know. It's just fucking wonderful to watch. And that place is electric as well. There's like, you know, when you do a joke, there's you have a joke like for so long, and you go, and it's the tiniest little, like, I've got one joke on it, like, turn something from a good joke to a fucking great joke. It's like even a tiny little hand movement of like just the like a little visual representation of, like, say something breaking or something. You know, that you can have a joke for 6 months and just do that one little thing, you act out because it just changes it. But you see the difference of a club comic do their material. You know, you've done your stuff at home thousands of times, and while you're doing it, your brain goes into this sort of it goes stir crazy, and then after it goes stir crazy, it goes, oh, why don't we do this? Because I'm bored shitless of doing this bit, and then it develops into some new piece which added on, and you can see that there's none of that in the fringe stuff. Because it hasn't been drilled that much. Do you know what I mean? It's still scripted. And it's terrified from leaving the script. Because whereas the club stuff is like, I know this. It doesn't fucking matter where it goes.
Club stuff is always like just telling somebody in the pub. So the bit's always going to be different. You know what I mean? Because if you're going to tell your mate a story, then the pub, you wouldn't script it all out and learn it and then be like, so, you know, start reading the script. You just tell them.
So we arranged to do this podcast before, and you're doing some filming. So you're doing some acting as well. With what was the thing? Can you talk about it or not?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it was that I was doing before.
You said you're doing some 4 days filming or something.
Up in Scotland.
Was it?
Yeah. So like it's a hidden camera prank show, but it got greenlit. But yeah, I don't know if I can actually.
Oh, nice. That's great. Though. I mean, that's okay. It's all right.
But yeah,
that's great, man. So do you do voiceovers as well, or?
I don't do voiceovers. Like I should maybe get a voiceover reel or something. But I've done some acting. I played Mick Fleetwood in an ITV drama. And
what was that character? What's
Mick is from Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, Fleetwood Mac. Sorry, yeah. I thought it was. I wasn't sure I was going to risk it. I'm not sure. I'm like, yeah, great, man. Is that fun?
Yeah, it was really good fun. I still haven't seen it. And what else have I done? I can't remember what I've done. But yeah, I've done you know, stuff for BBC Blue Tent, and I do.
Tell me what Blue Tent is.
So the big BlueTent in Edinburgh.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So I've done stand up. I've done panel show type things in there. So it's nice. Yeah, it's really nice doing the buzz.
Yeah. And so are you aligned to go do Mock of the Week soon, or what?
Oh no, I don't think I'll ever get on that kind of thing.
Why so?
Well, there's a big push for diversity, which, you know, is obviously great. You know, you need different people represented, but they've already got enough white men.
Right.
So you know, and if they do need more white men, they're not going to look for some Scottish guy in his 40s. They're going to go for somebody who went to Oxbridge. But I mean, also, you know, Mock of the Week and all that kind of stuff is kind of dying a bit.
Yeah.
Like, I think the real path is like online and
Get
Netflix and all that kind of stuff. The only problem is, man, all that stuff, you've got to like actually be motivated to do it. Whereas like comedy, it's got a deadline built in. So you got to get to the gig and do the gig, and you know, that's the deadline. Whereas with other stuff, like I've been writing this article all week and they didn't give me a deadline, so I just know I'm never going to do it. I had to write an article because I did some stuff for the New Zealand Herald, and they were like, "Oh, can you do that?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And they didn't give me a deadline, so I think I finished it about 9 months later. Like, if there's no deadline, I can't do something.
Yeah.
So
You need the worry, don't you? You need that stress, that extra kind of boost to kind of or like that you're not going to get paid. Do they pay you already for it, or?
No, you get paid. You get paid when you do it.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And then like it's New Zealand, so you get taxed at source. It's really annoying.
Oh man.
And then you get taxed again in the UK.
Oh.
So much tax, so they can like pay for opera singers and stuff. It's bullshit.
What's the next step for you then, Leo? I mean, you love comedy. That's your first love, right?
Yeah. I mean, when I say I do acting, I mean I've done some acting. I don't like. I'm shit at it, and like I don't really want to do it. But I do. I've got an agent in LA, and she thinks that. Only problem is like getting a visa for over there costs a fortune. Then you've got the opportunity cost of missing shows here.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, so I might go over to LA. She reckons that I'll be, because I'm just making so much stuff at the moment, and they don't have anybody with like Scottish accents, and also like, you know, stand-up comedians, and she can get me on the showcase shows.
Great.
And she thinks that, you know, my style, because my style of stuff, like British comedy, the industry likes sort of posh, whimsical men and like, you know, all this, and young people and stuff, and I'm none of that stuff. I'm an American style comedian, man. I'm in my 40s. I'm loud, very sort of quite direct and stuff, so I'm much more in the American vein, and much more, you know, I think I'd get somewhere more in America. The only problem is you got to get this visa and spend loads of money and get lawyers and stuff.
Yeah. That's it. You can't crack it with just one visit. Like, but in acting, would there be some sort of area of there that you would like to do the best?
Well, she says there's loads of sitcoms, but honestly, man, acting's rubbish. It's like it's sort of easy and difficult at the same time. Like, I'm always going for castings for adverts and I never get them. They're always like, "Oh, so you know, imagine your daughter's over there and you're worried about it." And it's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, man! Can I just?" Well, there's only one thing I can really do, and that's like look like Mick Fleetwood, because I look exactly like him, and also just be sort of angry and stuff. So like, but they never want an angry person in an advert.
That's true. Well, never mind. Well,
I can't do all this subtle face acting, looking all, you know, concerned and then happy or whatever. But Jesus Christ.
I'm happy, I'm sad.
It's a load of shite. But then, like, a lot of acting, like, you just, like, Mick Fleetwood, all I did was I just pretended. I pretended I was Mick Fleetwood, and that's what acting is.
Was he just angry? Was he like,
no, he was, well, so I did the voice and everything. "John, you've got to tell me what's happening. What's the problem playing these parts?" So I do the voice, like, exactly like he does it.
So comedy, where are you going next? What are you doing? What's the Transgressive? You're going to be touring that show?
Yeah, so I'm taking that to Adelaide and Perth in January and February, and I'm really happy with that show. I'm going to get it filmed properly and then like get it punted round, because I had a clip, like a 20-minute clip, go like slightly viral. It was on Comedy Unleashed, and so that's got me some attention. Like Americans being all like, "You should come to LA and like, you know, do it." It's like so I think if I get that full show filmed and get it in front of like, I don't know, Netflix or whatever, I think it's you know, it's got the potential to sort of get somewhere.
And so with Netflix, you just film it and then just submit it to them and see what they think?
Yeah, I don't know how it really works, but I'm just going to film it. A lot of people film their own specials, like Kay Kurd, Rob Mulholland, Freddie Quinn, like they film their own specials, Adam Rowe. People just do it themselves these days. And then the industry, and then they put them online and like get loads of views and stuff. Like the one from Comedy Unleashed, it's already on like 100,000 views, which I know isn't like, you know, it's not Kim Kardashian or anything.
It's great, man.
It's good. It's like it's getting industry people seeing it and stuff, which is great. Even like my mate sent me, his dad had forwarded it to him. You know, that's, you know, you're really getting out there when like it's genuinely getting shared by people.
It's great when your family see it before you do. It's like, fucking hell, I don't have to show them anymore because I can ignore it. And Hating Live is going to be in Top Secret soon, sometime.
In the new year they're going to get, and also we're taking that to the Adelaide Festival as well.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it'll be in Top Secret.
Right, okay. And your show's going to be taken to Perth and Adelaide.
Yeah.
Transgressive.
Yeah, and it's coming to Top Secret on the 8th of December as well.
Top Secret 8th of December, right? Great. So what else you got in the pipeline apart from you got greenlit for a pilot? For something?
Yeah, so I'm going up there to film some of that in December, and then in March when I'm back as well. Man, there's always stuff that I just forget about, and then oh yeah, shit, because I can only remember that pilot because the guy just emailed me. So yeah, there's always just like tedious admin. I don't do much like actually emailing asking for gigs. So it's funny. There's clubs that I've never played. I've never done Up the Creek or Comedia. Maybe I should get in with them. But I just sort of wait for the promoters to send. The ones that I do chase up will be like the Comedy Store to make sure. But then most of them will just like sort of get in touch and either send you a gig list. They send out a mailing list to all the comedians on their list, and then you just reply, or they'll get in touch and just book in a bunch of dates.
So where can we find you?
So I'm on Instagram as Scottish Comedian.
Yeah,
it's all one word.
Yeah,
and
how much was that? How much was that fucking
free?
What?
Scottish Comedian.
No way.
Yeah, can you believe that?
Free.
Free. It was just available. I can't believe it. Available.
Amazing.
Scottish Comedian.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, man. You did well there.
It's like in the first ever, Mr. Smith at hotmail.com or something. You know what I mean? It's like...
It's one of those things that people probably think this will never be available. There's no point in going for that, right?
Yeah.
So because how many... Because you were Scottish Comedian of the Year. 2000 and what?
So it's 2017-18.
2017-18, right? And
so since then there's been Stephen Buchanan and Mark
Chenkov, is it?
Yeah.
And but before that, how many years has that been going?
Oh, that's been going ages.
There you go. How the fuck did no one get Scottish Comedian?
I know.
That is even the fucking Scottish Comedian of the fucking year.
I'm on YouTube. If you search for Leo Kearse on
Leo
YouTube
Kearse.
And stuff, I'm putting up videos all the time now because after getting the heat from the Comedy Unleashed one, I realised that's what you've got to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do more of that. But yeah, and also on my website, leokearse.com, you can come, there's a list of gigs, so you can come to the gigs, although it's always like, Colchester for Dave, or something like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It makes sense to me, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's on there.
Well, they can always email you for the address, isn't it? Hey, that's it. Do you re-show any of the other shows that you've done in the past?
Nah, not really. I mean, I'll maybe crank out the material at somewhere like Comedy Unleashed, and then I've got it filmed and stuff. But I wouldn't do. To be honest, like I can make you Tory and Right Wing Comedian. I think they're good, but they're more like just bits of stand up clumped together into a show.
Gotcha.
Whereas Transgressive is much more of a sort of it's got an arc and it tells its story. And I'm really happy with it as a bit of stand-up. And
so, I run a gig in Hemel. You've been to do that?
Man, that's a really nice gig.
Yeah, man, it's great. We've gotten bigger now.
Oh,
you played the smaller, I'm sounding like Gilded Balloon now. You played the smaller room. But now we've moved to there's a little bit on. It's a 60-seater now.
Right,
so
nice.
And we've filled that every month, and now we're moving to we're maybe get 100-seater in there.
Right,
so
amazing.
I'd love to have you back sometime.
Man, I love that gig.
To do Pun Man. If you could bring that back as well.
The trouble is,
man,
trouble is with Pun Man, because sometimes promoters book me as Pun Man because they want some variety or something, but because I don't do it anymore, it's kind of shit now.
All right.
When my brain was in Pun Man mode, I was just pinging off. People shout stuff out and have puns for whatever. Yeah. But it's really
got to have faith in that character.
Imagine getting Bill Burr and putting him in spandex and telling him he's got to do puns. You know what I mean?
Just doesn't fit now. Fit now. It's all right. You've got you've had handed in your badge and your gun, sort of thing like that. It's like Pun Man. He's retired. But Leo, thanks for doing the show, man. I really
thanks for having me, man.
It's been fun, man.
Cheers.
Thank you.
And that was episode 81 with a very funny Leo Kearse. I hope you enjoyed that one. If you did, share it, tell your friends about it. Next month we have Javier Costales. He's a bit of an improvisational genius. I've seen him at work. He's absolutely excellent. We will spend an hour and a bit talking to him about comedy and stuff like that, the usual, but it's in a different way. We talk about how he creates jokes and what a joke is and how he looks at it. I think everyone's got a unique perspective on comedy anyway. That is episode 82 at the end of January in 2021. We're nearly at the end of 2020. I hope you have a good New Year's Eve and you make some decent New Year's resolutions. Now, the government's saying we're all in this together. No, that's not true. They're a hell of a lot more comfortable than we are. They are way more comfortable. They have mansions and they have like, drivers and everything like this. So we're not all in this together. We're all experiencing the difficulty in different ways. Now, there's people out there that you care about and you're not sure how they're doing. Just give them a phone call. Or, like just write them a letter or a card. I've been writing a lot of Christmas cards this year because there's people I have forgotten about. And this year has given me a lot of time to think about how they are and what they're up to. This year has given me a lot of time to reflect on how everyone else is doing. So if you have a thought like this and think about how are they doing, just drop them a line. You don't know how they may be, in a dire straits and in a bad situation. They might be really struggling. So that phone call or that message might be the thing that pulls them out of a bad situation. And there are other people you can ring, the Samaritans. It's a difficult time of year, I know, Christmas. So all I'll say is this, all right, if there's somebody thinking about and you're just wondering how they are, just don't let the thought go. Don't let the thought go. Just give them a ring and see how they're getting on. Until 2021, guys, I wish you a Merry Christmas, what's left of it. Eat loads. Enjoy yourselves if you can. And hopefully reach out to those people that you love and you care about. And until then, Happy New Year. And let's hope 2021 kicks 2020's ass. See you next year.